What grueling hours are Disney Channel stars required to work? How much control does Disney have over who their actors kiss on set and in the real world? And what item of clothing does Disney ban its stars from ever wearing? Hi, I'm Janet. Let's jump right in, and I will spill the beans. Change for the better? Have you ever wondered what it's really like to be a star on a Disney Channel show? I mean, it looks like a lot of fun, but turns out there's also some very hard work involved. Sky Jackson, who plays Zuri Ross, spilled the beans on what really goes on behind the scenes of Bunk'd. Because it takes a whole week to shoot an entire episode, which includes script table reads, run-throughs, and lots of line learning, it may shock you to learn that the scripts can change at any time, and the actors have to suck it up and learn new lines. How crazy! Sky says at any point, even rehearsals, the directors and producers can change the script. Sometimes just a line or two, sometimes an entire conversation. The actors don't have a choice but to memorize the new lines and carry on. What's worse, a script can be changed the night before a shoot without much notice.
And even when we get film, sometimes it would just come last minute. Be like, all right, we want to add this in the scene, or we want to do this.
Wow.
So lines would always be changing for me.
So the Bunk'd stars are always working. Having to constantly learn lines must take its toll on balancing school with work. Since so many of the Bunk'd stars are so young, they're still expected to focus on their education while working crazy hours. Sounds tiring. Generally, there is a rule in television that child actors under 12 cannot work for longer than 8 hours. Yes, 8 hours, the average adult working day. But because Disney provides school for their actors too, the hours can be pretty extreme. Sometimes production pushes to shoot 2 episodes a week, which can include 14-hour days. For kids, brutal! But luckily for Sky, she's been acting most of her life, and working long hours memorizing lines is easy for her, and not just her own lines.
But even like the kids on the second season of Bunk, like sometimes they would forget things. But I'm that type of person, when I'm reading the script, I memorize everyone's lines. So I'm like, no, like it's this. Like,
oh, wow.
Yes.
Sky admits that she's not really sure how she does it, but she's always there to help anyone out. Cute. An ear for music. When you think of Disney, you think of music, right? I mean, can you name a star that hasn't doubled up and made it as a pop sensation? There's Miley, Selena, Raven, the Jonas Brothers. I mean, the list goes on, and the Bunk'd stars are no different. Disney strongly encourages their up-and-coming actors to pursue a career in music as well. According to Kevin Quinn, who plays Xander, balancing his acting and music career can be quite a feat. He said in an interview with Blended NYC, "The way I balance it is just by constantly auditioning for new projects. When I'm not auditioning or working on a project, I'm just in writing sessions. I'm writing music, working on tracks, and they obviously make the most of the musical talent on set and to add to their shows." But what are they not allowed to do? Write risky lyrics. So don't expect Kevin to be singing anything more than innocent, sweet songs. Joe Jonas came out to say that the Jonas Brothers jumped through many hoops while under their Disney contract, even wearing purity rings. They were forced to focus their lyrics on good, clean fun and stay away from anything Disney might feel was inappropriate. This even includes being alone in a room with someone. Talk about walking on eggshells. As for Kevin Quinn's role model, well, it's another former Mouseketeer.
Well, I would say Justin Timberlake.
Yeah.
Just because he's kind of managed to master his skill as both an actor, like you'll see him in The Social Network, or when he's not doing that, he'll come out with an album like 2020.
Keep your lips sealed. Another strict rule that Disney actors have to follow, and one you've probably picked up on yourself. No kissing. Yeah, Disney actually has a no kissing rule. The reason you never see Disney couples linger with on-screen kisses is because according to Disney, their romantic relationships in their shows are more centered on emotional connections and companionship. So you will always see a kiss build up, but never much more. Often, the shot will cut away or end abruptly. Why? Disney strives to maintain its wholesome and conservative image, just like this scene between Emma and Xander. A good role model. Speaking of Disney's wholesome image, this rule also speaks to Disney's strict morality clause, which forces the actors to maintain their goody-two-shoes persona at all times. The actors are held to an incredibly high standard, whether they are working or not. The stars are encouraged to always stay in character, even though they themselves are growing up and evolving.
Well, I'm sort of like Tiffany because she's like an exaggerated version of me.
Because Disney has such a young and impressionable audience, the stars are meant to appear innocent.
I'm actually from the country originally, a lot like my character Lou. So coming to LA when I was 10 was definitely different for me and a completely new environment. So I kind of get where they're coming from. You're like a fish out of water in this new place.
But this strict rule to always project a childish and innocent image can be hard, especially since most of the stars are adolescents when they hit the Disney screens.
But I think for everyone, it's just time to move on. I mean, we played these characters for 7 years now, and we're all growing up, and I can't be Zuri forever.
And acting the part is not the only thing they have to do. They have to look the part too. Your teenage years happen to be the time you are discovering who you are and who you would like to become. But for your favorite Disney stars, it's a whole new ballgame. They don't have their own image that they're allowed to project. In fact, they always have to be on, meaning in character, which is most definitely something very draining for these young actors, especially when it comes to red carpet events and interviews. The stars are always required to portray their Disney image. Disney does the shopping for their actors, not even letting them pick their own clothing. And the brunt of this goes to the female stars, who are required to dress conservatively and are not allowed to wear outfits that show off too much skin. Going swimmingly. Speaking of conservative, the control of how they behave and the image they portray even goes as far as what they wear. Did you know that Disney stars are not allowed to wear bikinis to preserve Disney's wholesome image? Yikes! The stars are forced to take classes that deal with scandal and social media because Disney would like nothing more than to avoid their actors being involved in anything remotely scandalous. Is it really a wonder what happens when these child stars walk away from their Disney image? Check out the pic Peyton List, who plays Emma on Bunk'd, posted. She has recently shed her princess persona and moved to the set of Cobra Kai. In fact, Disney is so strict about this rule that they once threatened to fire Bella Thorne when she starred on Shake It Up. The actress was 14 at the time and wore a bikini to the beach that her mom picked out. Oh wow, it must be intensely difficult to deal with growing up in the limelight. All the attention from the media, the fame and the money, and navigate this squeaky clean image that you are forced into. Not only are they trained on how to use social media, but they also have to get approval for their posts. Obviously, in maintaining their image, Disney wouldn't risk an actor or actress posting a foolish selfie. But Disney takes control to a whole new level. Each star has a strict manager who has to okay a post before it's posted. Hectic. Dating in the family. Another so-called rule and form of control comes when Disney tries to decide who their stars date, and they prefer to have them stay in the Disney family. I mean, look at Joe Jonas and Demi Lovato, Vanessa Hudgens and Zac Efron, and even Justin Timberlake and Britney Spears. Disney finds it easier to control a couple when they are both signed to the same rules. Disney's rules. Crazy. And it was no different for Bunk'd star Peyton List. She has been linked to at least 3 Disney Channel stars, even when she was really young. Peyton was rumored to have dated Cameron Boyce in November 2012. Peyton took to social media after Cameron's tragic passing to voice her grief over his death. In 2016, Peyton was famously linked to Jacob Bertrand, who is known for his role as Kirby Buckets in Kirby Buckets. They met on the set of the movie The Swamp, but their alleged relationship was short-lived and only lasted 3 months. And there was also the infamous rumored fling with actor Logan Paul. What do you think of these crazy strict rules that your favorite Bunk'd stars have to follow? Comment down below and watch our other videos about life as a Disney Channel star.